There's one I don't talk about, not because it was the worst night of the war. It wasn't, not by a long measure, but because every time I try to tell it, I end up somewhere I didn't expect, so I usually just leave it alone. Let it sit where it's been sitting for 60-some years. But Ellie asked me, and I've learned you don't say no to Ellie. This was Luzon, February 1945, or close enough to it that it doesn't matter which side of the calendar we were on. We were in the interior, thick jungle, the kind where the canopy closes up above you and the sunlight doesn't reach the ground even at noon. You move through it and it moves back around you, like it's indifferent to whether you're there or not. We'd gone out 4 men on a patrol, routine or what passes for routine in a place where nothing is routine. We drew some sporadic fire around dusk, not a real engagement, more like a warning or maybe an accident, and the units scattered through the brush. You don't think in those moments. Your legs think for you. And when the noise stopped and I came back to myself, I was alone. No radio, no visual on the others, just the jungle going dark around me, which it does fast out there. 1 minute there's gray light and the next minute there's nothing. I found a position against a tree, big roots, good cover. I told myself I'd wait until I could hear something familiar and then move toward it. That was the plan. Plans. In a jungle at night, alone, a plan is mostly just something to whisper to yourself so the fear has somewhere to go. The sounds in that jungle at night, I can't do it justice. Insects you've never heard before and never want to hear again. Something dripping constantly, though it hadn't rained since morning. The distant percussion of artillery so far off it sounded almost peaceful, and underneath all of it, that particular silence that isn't silence at all, the kind that presses on you. My boots had been wet for 3 days. I mention that because it's the kind of thing you fixate on when your mind is trying not to fixate on other things. Wet boots, a blister on my left heel. The fact that I hadn't eaten since midday. I don't know how much time passed, and then I saw him. He was maybe 15 feet away, maybe less. A Japanese soldier coming through the brush from my left, moving carefully, the way you move when you're alone and you're not sure what's around you. He hadn't seen me yet. And then he did. We both froze. I had my rifle, he had his. We were both looking right at each other, and we both knew exactly what the other one could do. That's the thing nobody tells you. In that kind of moment, everything gets very simple. All the noise inside your head goes quiet. You're just there, in that second, and the second is enormous. I don't know how long it lasted. It felt long. It probably wasn't. He was young. That registered. I remember thinking he looked young. Tired the way I was tired, which is a particular kind of tired that gets into your eyes and stays there. He had mud on his face and his uniform was torn at the shoulder and he was breathing hard, like he'd been moving fast before he slowed down. Neither one of us moved. And then something happened that I've never been able to fully explain. He looked at me, not the way you look at a target, but the way you look at a person, just for a second, just long enough. And he took a step back, and then another, and he moved back into the brush, and he was gone. I sat against that tree until I could breathe normally. Then a while longer after that, I found my unit before dawn. I didn't tell them what had happened, not that night. I didn't have the words for it yet. Honestly, I'm not sure I have the words for it now. I never knew his name. I still don't. I don't know if he made it home. I hope he did. I mean that I genuinely hope that man went home and got old and sat on a porch somewhere and let the war get quiet inside him, the way I tried to. He made a choice that night. So did I. 2 men, in the dark, with every reason in the world not to. and we both chose to let the other one walk away. I've thought about that 10,000 times over 60 years, and I still don't have a clean explanation for it, only the thing itself. I've been asked who the bravest man I ever met was. I've never been able to answer that cleanly, because part of me thinks it was him, and I'm not sure I'm supposed to say that. But at 82, I don't have much patience left for saying things I'm not sure of instead of the things I am. I see people today who can't sit across the table from someone who thinks different than they do, who look at their neighbor and see an enemy before they see a person. And I think about that jungle. I think about what it took, in the worst circumstances two men can be in, to still see each other as men. We did that. People can do that. I know because I watched it happen in the dark with nobody watching but the two of us. I don't know where he is. I still think about his face. And I'm still waiting for us to remember what he and I knew in that one silent second without saying a word.